For years, viewers of Swamp People had grown used to seeing Cheyenne Nicole Wheat, better known as Pickle, charging through the Louisiana swamps with calm focus and fearless energy. She wasn't just another face on the show. She brought a different rhythm, one that felt grounded and real. So when early 2025 episodes started rolling out with noticeably less of her presence, people paid attention. It wasn't dramatic. There was no sudden announcement or emotional farewell. Instead, it felt like a quiet fade, the kind that leaves more questions than answers. Fans began to wonder what had changed. Was it a creative decision, a personal choice, or simply life moving in a different direction? What stood out most was how subtle it all was. No controversy, no headlines, just an absence that felt unusual for someone who had become such a natural part of the show. And in that silence, curiosity grew stronger than ever. Roots deep in the Louisiana swamps. To understand Pickle's journey, you have to start far from television lights, deep in the wetlands of Louisiana. She wasn't raised for the spotlight, she was raised for survival, skill, and tradition. In her world, alligator hunting wasn't entertainment. It was heritage. Generations before her had worked those same waters, learning how to read currents, track movement, and respect the environment. Her father played a huge role in shaping her early years, bringing her along on hunts when most kids her age were still figuring out playground games. By the time she reached her teenage years, she wasn't learning anymore. She was contributing. That kind of upbringing builds a certain kind of confidence. It's quiet, steady, and earned through experience rather than words. Pickle's connection to the land also extended beyond hunting. Her family's work in crafting duck and turkey calls added another layer to her identity, tying her even more closely to the culture of the region. She wasn't stepping into a role when she joined television. She was simply continuing a life she already knew. A natural fit on television. When Pickle first appeared on Swamp People in 2021, it didn't take long for viewers to notice something different about her. She didn't rely on dramatic reactions or exaggerated personality. Instead, she brought authenticity, which stood out in a format already filled with experienced hunters like Troy Landry. Her partnership with Troy quickly became one of the most engaging dynamics on the show. It wasn't just about catching alligators, it was about mentorship, trust, and mutual respect. Viewers appreciated how naturally she fit into the environment. She handled equipment with ease, stayed composed under pressure, and didn't try to prove anything through words. Her actions spoke clearly enough. Over time, she became more than just a new addition. She became part of the show's identity. For many fans, she represented a bridge between generations, a younger voice carrying forward a tradition that might otherwise fade. That connection helped her stand out without ever trying too hard. More than just a hunter. What made Pickle resonate with audiences wasn't just her skill, it was her personality. She carried herself with a kind of quiet confidence that didn't need validation. There was humor there too, often subtle and unforced, the kind that comes naturally when someone is comfortable in their own skin. She wasn't performing for the camera, she was simply living her life while the camera happened to be there. That distinction matters. In a genre where personalities can sometimes feel exaggerated, Pickle felt grounded. Her presence reminded viewers that real life doesn't need embellishment to be compelling. She showed up, did the work, and let the results speak for themselves. Over time, that consistency built trust with the audience. People believed what they were seeing because it didn't feel staged. And in a way, that authenticity became her signature. It wasn't flashy, but it was powerful. Life beyond the camera. As her television presence grew, Pickle slowly began sharing more of her personal life, offering glimpses into a side of her that viewers hadn't seen before. Her relationship with Joshua Kippis marked a new chapter, one that shifted her priorities in a very real way. When she announced her first pregnancy in 2022, it surprised many fans, not because it felt out of place, but because she had kept so much of her life private until then. The way she shared the news was simple and heartfelt, much like everything else about her. Motherhood didn't replace her identity, it expanded it. She continued to appear on the show during parts of her pregnancy, demonstrating the same resilience viewers had come to admire. But at the same time, it became clear that her focus was evolving. Life was asking more of her, and she was responding in her own steady way. balancing work and family. After welcoming her first child in 2023, Pickle didn't disappear completely, but her presence naturally became more selective. She still appeared alongside familiar faces like Troy Landry, but her role shifted slightly. It wasn't about stepping away. It was about finding balance. Anyone who has navigated major life changes understands that priorities don't always stay the same. For Pickle, family became a central anchor. She continued sharing moments from her daily life, quiet snapshots that felt genuine rather than curated. By the time she announced her second pregnancy in late 2024, it was clear that another transition was coming. Her time and energy were being pulled in new directions, and she embraced that without making a spectacle of it. It wasn't a dramatic shift, it was a natural progression. And in many ways, that made it even more relatable. Choosing what matters most. In an era where public figures often feel pressure to stay constantly visible, Pickle's decision to step back, even temporarily, felt refreshing. She didn't frame it as a sacrifice or a loss. Instead, it came across as a conscious choice. That kind of clarity is rare. It showed that her identity wasn't tied solely to television or public recognition. She knew who she was outside of it, and that allowed her to step away without losing herself. For many viewers, that decision only deepened their respect for her. It's easy to stay in the spotlight when everything is working. It takes a different kind of strength to step back and prioritize personal life when needed. Pickle's approach reminded people that success isn't always about visibility. It's about alignment with what truly matters, the legacy she left behind. Even in her reduced presence, Pickle's impact on swamp people remains clear. She helped bring a new energy to the show, one that connected with a younger audience while still respecting tradition. Her journey showed that authenticity doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. She proved that skill, consistency, and honesty can leave a lasting impression. For viewers who followed her story from the beginning, her absence doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like a chapter closing naturally, with the possibility of another one opening later. That's part of what makes her story resonate. It doesn't feel scripted. It feels real. What comes next remains open. Right now, there's no clear answer about whether Pickle will return to television in the near future, and perhaps that's exactly how she prefers it. Her story has never been about rushing toward the next spotlight moment. It's been about moving at her own pace, guided by her values and responsibilities. Whether she returns to Swamp People or chooses a different path entirely, one thing is certain: she hasn't disappeared. She's simply living a different chapter of her life, one that may not be broadcast, but is just as meaningful. And sometimes, those quieter chapters are the ones that shape a person the most.